Now to Taiwan. The plot has thickened. After shooting jets and threats and coming this close to war, China is playing a new old game. Why new and old? Because it's a new move, but an old trick. How do you weaken a country? Play their people against each other, use opposition parties to target their government. And I'm still talking about Taiwan, but I'm sure you can think of parallels. So here's what China is doing in Taiwan, engaging with the opposition party. It is called the KMT, Kuomintang. It is the main opposition party in Taiwan. It is sending its lawmakers to China this week. Why is this news? Because China refuses to engage with Taiwan's government. And yet, they seem to be happy to host the opposition. Taiwan's president, Tsai Ing-wen, took office in 2016. She has repeatedly called for dialogue with Beijing. But Beijing continues to ignore her. And now they want to talk to the opposition leaders. In fact, they held a similar meeting in August last year. Taipei had condemned that meeting too, and now it's happening again. Two questions. Why does Taiwan's opposition party want to engage with China? And why does China pick them over the elected government? The answer lies in history. You see, KMT or Kuomintang is a very old party. It is the same party that once ruled China. Mao Zedong drove it out of power. He led the Communist Party of China. There was a civil war, and leaders of the KMT fled to Taiwan. All of this happened in 1949. So the KMT is one of the oldest political parties in Asia. It ruled Taiwan for almost 50 years. At the turn of the century, Taiwan's politics changed. The Democratic Progressive Party came to power. That is Tsai Ing-wen's party, the current president. Her party came to power. Do you know why the KMT lost? Because it was believed to be biased towards China. And this assessment is correct. When the KMT is in power in Taiwan, tensions between Taiwan and China tend to come down. This party has been pushing for closer ties with China. Its leaders frequently travel to Beijing. Do you know who's going this time? KMT Deputy Chairman Andrew Sia. He's a former diplomat. And he will lead this delegation to Beijing. The party issued a statement. I have a copy with me. This is what it says. The delegation will conduct, quote-unquote, exchanges and dialogue on the basis of equality and dignity. They will reflect Taiwan's latest public concerns about the security of the Taiwan Strait and expectations for regional peace and stability. Who will represent the Chinese side? Song Tao, the newly appointed head of China's Taiwan Affairs Office. Not too long ago, Song had said this. He said Taiwan should be reunified with China, which is not surprising because this man works for the Communist Party of China. Here's what else he said. He called for joint efforts from both sides to achieve reunification. Let me repeat that. Joint efforts from both sides. What does that even mean? From Beijing's perspective, it means keeping China's friends in Taiwan close. A few days ago, Song held his first meeting. He met with a former head of the KMT. It happened in the Chinese city of Xiamen. And within days, Song is meeting another KMT leader, the party's deputy chairman. So two meetings in quick succession. Why now? Because China is preparing for next year. Taiwan will hold a presidential election next year, and a win for the KMT will be a win for Beijing. China has a stake in ensuring the KMT's victory. This party backs the One China policy. It says Taiwan is a part of China and not an independent territory. Of course, China wants to see them back in power. Well, what if it happens? What if KMT comes back to power next year? China's path to reunification will become much easier. It will not need weapons then. It will use its clout to achieve Taiwan's capitulation, and Beijing has tried this before. In the 2019 election, China went all out to back the KMT. It ran a disinformation campaign. It pumped money to boost the popularity of the KMT. It didn't work. The KMT lost. Today, this party is almost irrelevant in Taiwan. It seems out of touch with the new reality of Taiwan. Let me show you the results of a recent poll. How many people in Taiwan support reunification with China? Just 6.5%. More than 50% support independence. Around 25% want to maintain the status quo. And the rest can't seem to decide. So the KMT remains a minority by a wide margin. And that explains why the Chinese are meddling so aggressively. They want to revive the KMT's fortunes. It won't be the first time that China is meddling in an election. But for Taiwan, this poses an existential challenge. The government of President Tsai Ing-wen has sent a message to the KMT. It says the party should not enter into any negotiations with Beijing. But from what we understand, the meeting is very much on. This is a developing story. We'll keep track for you.